Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, welcome, welcome for this sweet and warm gathering of China-Africa family. So good to see so many lovely, beautiful, and young and energetic faces here. Thank you for joining us for this event. My name is Gaojun Ya. I've been producing a China-Africa related podcast called China-Africa Talk. It's a flagship China-Africa program produced by CGTN, China Global Television Network. Today is October the 10th. Does this date mean anything to you guys here? Well, it's very special to China-Africa ties because exactly on this date, 25 years ago, the first ministerial meeting of the FOCAC, the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, was held in Beijing, marking the formal establishment of FOCAC, this very important mechanism. So 25 years, right? FOCAC is 25 years old. I know it's even older than some of you guys back there. Yeah, but 25 years, it is quite a milestone. And to mark this milestone, we, China-Africa Talk, we produced a special feature. We call it Together Forward. And today, we're gathered here to release this special feature. Okay. And without further ado, let's meet some lovely people first. Our distinguished guests who are here with us. Professor Zhang Yanqiu, Director of Africa Communication Research Center, the Academy of International and Regional Communication Studies, Communication University of China. And Zhang Yong, Documentary Director, Deputy Dean of the Institute for International Film and Television Department, Zhejiang University. Jiao Xiaoqiang, Chair of the Sino-Africa Science and Technology Backyard Project, Associate Professor, College of Resources and Environmental Sciences, China Agricultural University. And we also have 3 African guests who are going to join us today. They are Jenaba Shanko. She's a brilliant broadcast host and content creator with QTV, The Gambia. And Prince Takonu. He's an agribusiness advocate from Ghana. And Bridget Mutambiwa. She's the host of China-Africa Talk. And Wang Yizhen. He's the director of the 3 stories we did here in China. So to help you better understand this project, Together Forward, we've prepared a trailer for you guys to enjoy. Okay, let's take a look.
我的非洲兄弟要给我送祝福语。
非洲不是我们刻板印象里的贫穷落后的大陆。我能不能做这个开拓者，以影像的力量推动中国和非洲人民的互助互信？
The Chinese government built this school. It has really helped the people around. And I always say it, and the school is like none other. Facilities.
We hope that more and more Botswana kids can enjoy the same facilities.
到这儿来，最重要的一个目的是要用你的知识来服务于小农户，每年要待够200天。 我们一共为这个非洲13个国家培养了130多名留学生。
Thank you, China Agricultural University.
China aided 300 borehole drilling project. We can now maintain hygiene. I was very happy with the drilling of the borehole by the Chinese because I can now get water close by for my car wash.
中国的新能源的发展的关键在非洲是非常大，所以我相信接下去的5到10年，可能整个非洲都会变成中国的新能源城。
所
Partnership, Chinese farms have brought these technologies closer to the small-scale farmers, young entrepreneurs, and everyday workers.
让我们凝聚起28亿多中非人民的磅礴力量，在现代化征程上携手同行，以中非现代化助力全球南方现代化，绘就人类发展史上崭新画卷。
Thank you. Are there any places or people from this video that you found familiar with? Do you know which African countries have we been to cover our story? Which, yeah. Yes, and to give you a more detailed introduction of this project, let's invite my colleague Yang Guang here.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This year, we commemorate a significant milestone in international cooperation, the 25th anniversary of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, or FOCAC. For a quarter of a century, this platform has served as a cornerstone of a dialogue and collaboration, weaving a vibrant tapestry of shared interests and a common destiny between China and the nations of Africa. At the 2024 summit of FOCAC held in Beijing, Chinese President Xi Jinping announced 10 partnership action plans to be implemented from 2025 to 2027. These plans cover areas of mutual learning among civilizations, trade prosperity, industrial chain cooperation, connectivity, development cooperation, health, agriculture and livelihoods, people-to-people and cultural exchanges, grain development, and common security. It's against this backdrop of a dynamic, evolving partnership that we conceived our special series to commemorate FOCAC at 25. Rather than simply analyzing the policy documents, we asked a more fundamental question. What do these action plans look like in practice? How do they translate from high-level agreements into tangible changes in people's lives? To find answers, our team embarked on an extensive journey. Our reporters traveled to Kenya, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and across China, from Hangzhou to Yiwu to Handan, to bring you some of the most compelling human stories of how such cooperation is done. The result is a series of 6 documentaries we are proud to share today. In our first story, we see the partnership through the camera lens of a Chinese director who documents the untold narratives of China-Africa ties, preserving our shared victory of generations to come. We then step into the world of 2 African entrepreneurs on the front lines of trade, whose ambition and drive are fueling economic vitality. From the economic heart, we journey to a community in Zimbabwe, where China-aided boreholes are transforming daily existence. In the fields and the farms, we discover an innovative model of collaboration, the China-Africa Science and Technology Backyard, where scientists and the farmers work side by side. We also visit a China-built primary school in Botswana, where the sound of children learning in new, bright classrooms echoes with the promise of a brighter future. And finally, we look to the horizon in Kenya, where Chinese green technology is helping to shape sustainable futures. Together, the 6 stories reveal the real human impact of FOCAC, a partnership that is not abstract, but alive, breathing, and moving forward together. This series is just the beginning. In the future, we will continue our Together Forward series. And this is where we need you. We believe the most powerful stories are the stories yet to be told. So we extend an invitation to you, our dear friends and partners here today. Share your story ideas with us. Tell us about the projects, the innovations, the personal connections that inspire you. Let's collaborate not just in policy and projects, but in storytelling. Because together, we're not just reporting on this all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future. We are actively helping to build it for a new era. Thank you.
Thank you, Yang Guang, for that thorough introduction. Yes, just like Yang Guang said, our special feature revolves around the 10 partnership action plans. And today we are going to showcase 3 of the stories we did, which focus on mutual learning among civilizations, trade prosperity, and agriculture and livelihoods. We're going to invite guests on stage to have panel discussions, and we're going to open the floor to you guys here for your comment. So, ladies and gentlemen, now our first video about Director Zhang Yong's journey documenting China-Africa ties.
非洲不是我们刻板印象里的贫穷落后的大陆，非洲也有可爱的人、美丽的文化，我们对非洲的认知需要提升。我在想，我能不能做这个开拓者，以影像的力量推动中国和非洲人民的互知互信。 我学的专业是影视学，在做博士论文选题的时候，当时的话，大部分选题其实还是倾向于西方大国的，甚至中东、伊朗电影都比较多。但是非洲电影没有一篇像样的系统性的学位论文。那我在想，我能不能做这个开拓者？
非洲兄弟要给我送祝福。
第一次去到非洲之前，其实我对非洲也是害怕的。我作为一个电影学的学生，对它的认知也是来自于索马里海盗、好莱坞贫穷、落后、血腥这样的影像时刻，在我的脑海里已经根深蒂固了啊，所以我对它的认知也是具有刻板印象的。但是当你走进飞机舱的时候，看到那空姐啊、非洲这些工作人员，你觉得特别的具有安全感，特别的踏实。 我们有一句话叫做“没去非洲怕非洲，去了非洲爱非洲，离开非洲想非洲”。中非的元素再加强一下，比方说他们当时还会说五呼噜，五呼噜是自由之路。 坦赞铁路在当地是一条自由之路，可以加一个什么 Rafiki 啊什么的。他们坦桑尼亚人喊中国人是喊朋友，然后当地人就喊我们 Rafiki， 就是朋友的意思。其实做过非洲电影的博士论文之后，我就意识到学术的影响力啊，它还是集中在学术圈。我们国家的很多的民众其实不了解非洲，所以我在想，我能不能用媒介的力量，结合自己学的影视专业来做一些作品。 下午好，出海非洲是吧？我因为做非洲影视研究，除了关注非洲人自己拍的影视作品，也会看西方人拍的。那么我就注意到 BBC 拍了一部纪录片，叫《坦赞铁路纪行》。
Because you know, all children love playing with train sets. This is like a giant train set.
看完之后，我觉得深有触动。作为新中国的第一大援外工程，它的现状是如此的不堪。但是当我自己走到坦赞铁路的时候，我发现它的现状不是这样的。它作为短途的，还是供达市城郊的这些民众上班用的非常重要的工具。我们还邀请了一个丹麦的学者跟我一起来联合指导这个片子。 并用他的视角去穿行整个坦赞铁路，去体验坦赞铁路的现状和沿途的风情。
Finally, we're on the road. This has been a moment I've been waiting for a very long time. It's great. It's really amazing.
我们采取更加多元的视点。我记得我们在坦桑尼亚的最高收视率是5.93。 我们一般说破1就算很不错了，那破5了，说明当地人是很认可的，也就说明非洲观众其实要看到这样的作品，比较公允、比较多元的呈现非洲的历史和现状的，呈现中非合作的真实情况。 过去的10年间，我们团队拍了5、6部非洲题材的纪录片。我们希望以纪录片、纪录电影的形式，让大家更多的了解非洲，以影像的力量推动中国和非洲人民的互知互信。波比的工厂是我个人比较满意的一部作品。我是2015年就认识他，当时我们拍《我从非洲来》，他当时还是个厨师。2017年他开始做化妆品工厂。就是我做纪录片都是从人物开始的，他就会串联起中非的贸易，他如何跟中国人做生意，他如何跟非洲人做贸易，这些中非合作如何影响到他的生活，这些就随之而来都会陆陆续续记录到和观察到。
我就指着你了，不行，不行，那不行，你指谁呀？你指我的老公，你看可以。
你对这个老公骄傲吗？
骄傲，咋不骄傲呢？
当时印象特别深刻的一点就是我们刚进入到他们工厂，他老婆就给所有的员工开了一个会，说张老师团队什么都能拍哈，我们工厂所有的东西都向张老师敞开，追踪到了他们很多非常动人的时刻、激烈的时刻。
5、6千，我们给你7千，你看他拼不拼命给你？
那我现在不说别的，刘伟现在你管1个星期。
你快来听我说完，你为什么不愿意？你就知道男人不喜欢女的不听他的话。我经常跟你说这个我不喜欢，但是你改不了。那你现在没有，但是你之前准备不行吗？
波比跟他的员工说：“我们不是敌人，我们是朋友。”
你不是小孩子了，我知道这么多天，你跟我说话像我是你的老弟似的，但是我能控制住，但是我老婆控制不住。知道吗？你有心下，你就放到你自己的心。我们都是朋友，我们不是敌人。
这句话在我的脑海里很深，因为那个时刻，他真的是一句发自内心的想批评一个年轻的员工。我觉得有一个素材特别让我感动，就是波比在车上开着车，带着他老婆唱那个“老婆老婆我爱
你”。就是你，你知道我爱你。虽然你身体不好，让我着急。我对你说，有我你就没问题。
他真的契合波比在经历了创业的艰难以及工厂的变迁。我觉得那一个时刻是非常动容的，表达了他的一个非洲人在异乡的一个情感，而这种情感是通过歌声所传递出来的，所以我决定结尾就用这首歌结掉。生活还在继续，歌声在延续。非常有幸的是，尼日利亚收到了这个片子之后啊，他们对这个故事特别感兴趣，给我们播了好几轮，说是那一年好像是播出次数最多的中国纪录片。我经常说中非交流视听为强，其实在视听的呈现里面，当地的语言也是非常重要的。我们的纪录片其实现在陆陆续续有10几种语言了，这就是我们声音老师黄老师。今天的国际传播一定要做到精准传播。我们的所有的歌曲一定会用当地的一些音乐元素，比方说非洲鼓。我觉得这样才是一个比较接近非洲的感觉的非洲的音乐。我个人有一个小小的理想，在我45岁之前，我要拍10部中非题材的纪录片。我现在已经做到第7部，我也希望能够团结更多的力量，能够一起做好这件事情。今天的中国是发展中的中国，是不断变化的中国。我理解的中非合作其实是落到具体的民间，落到我最喜欢的田野的地方。其实中非合作不是一句口号，而是由1分钱的生意、1块钱的生意、一件件非常小的商品、一根根头发所串联起来的。最近几年的话，随着中非合作论坛的召开，以及中非经贸合作和中非人文交流的推进的话，越来越多的人能够理解非洲，越来越多的中国人走进非洲，也越来越多的非洲人走进中国。影像对于那些没有来过的人来说，特别是纪录片，其实我们都是在做桥梁的工作，我们都在架设民心相通的这种桥梁。而不过我采用的方式是影像，是纪录片。
中方愿同非方密切人文交流，在现代化进程中倡导不同文明相互尊重、包容共存，共同推动全球文明倡议结出更多硕果。
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Thank you, Director Zhang Yong, for bridging the hearts of Chinese people and African people over the past decade. I think via the video we've got a glimpse of Zhang Yong's works, right? Like Tazara, A Journey Without an End, and Bobby's Factory. But I think I'm not the only one here who's so curious to find more of your works and your stories. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Zhang Yong on stage to share with us some of his stories. And also Professor Zhang Yanqiu on stage to join our discussion. Thank you. You've been filming China-Africa documentaries since 2012. It's been over a decade. And you're always the one who are behind the camera, right? And now in our story, but you're in the spotlight as our main character. So how does this shift feel like for you?
Firstly, I want to thank CGTN and the CUC to give me this chance to share my ideas before camera. As you say, I stayed behind the camera for more than 12 years. So actually, it's my first time to accept the interview because it's you. We are old friends. I met Miss Gao in Zimbabwe 7 years ago. So when she asked me, could I interview you? I say, okay. But for other people, I say, no, I don't want to interview.
Thank you.
I will ask, could I interview you? Yeah, because for me, to express myself, I find it more difficult than to be a director. To be a director, I just stayed behind the camera and control all the scenes, the characters, the cameras, to say everything is okay, everything goes well, to make sure everything goes good. But speak in front of the camera, I think it's a little hard for me because I always to think. I still think I'm okay. I will ask director Wang. Say, what do I say is okay for you? Sometimes I think you are the director. I'm not the director, but my thinking way is still to be a director. So I'm a little confused actually. So if you ask my choice, I will still choose to be a director, but not a character. Anyway, I think your video is better than with us. You're a good team. Thank you.
I think you need to get more used to being interviewed because after this story, I think more people will approach you and ask you to be their interviewees and share your stories. And Professor Zhang Yanqiu, and what do you think of his story and the significance of Director Zhang Yong's efforts in documenting China-Africa relations?
Okay, well, I think just now, Zhang Yong, you're too modest to express yourself. But as a China-Africa media researcher, I really appreciate, your achievement for these years. I remember many years ago that you graduate as a PhD student and you focus on Africa, film studies. That is a very pioneering, research. And from this documentary and actually, it's a very impressive, and one is, I think you made a very good example how to tell the story and about, how to represent China-Africa, friendship, especially the Tazara Railway. That is a historic, symbol for China-Africa friendship. But actually, it might be, misrepresented by Western media. So. Your story tell us authentic, real, cooperation between China and Africa. And what impressed me most is your camera focus on those so-called small potatoes. Those people, those real people's life, people-to-people exchange life, China, Africa, the marriage, the life there. So that will give us a real picture about China-Africa culture exchange, civilization, studies between each other. And also, I think most important is you are not only a researcher in African media and television and film studies, but also you are a film producer. So you make a very good combination about the two, because I noticed that after you're making some documentary, you will publish a book over that. So you set up a good link, not only between the people to people, between the two sides, but also set a lot of, you're sort of academic opinion leaders, and to lead the public, discourse over China-Africa cooperation, and especially people-to-people exchange. That is very, very, significant for me, I think. Thank you.
Wow, Professor Zhang Yong. Keep it up. So you're going to make 10 documentaries, China-Africa documentaries, before turning 45. How many works have you done now?
I think it's 6.
Already 6.
Oh, 7.
Wow.
Thank you.
And just during your filming and interviews, what valuable lessons or experiences have you learned from your African counterparts?
Yes, very good question. Before I started to make a documentary about the China-Africa relation, China-Africa exchange, I think I will tell a story about the African people. But when I begin to work with them, I find that I learn a lot from them. For example, when we made the documentary Africans in EU in 2015, I worked with the PhD of Zhejiang University in our school, Somali Hedan. Now she is the ambassador of Somali in Beijing, Somali ambassador in Beijing. I think Hedan and other African friends taught me a lot about how to keep balance. Before, as a director, I just think what the audience, especially the Chinese audience, will think about this chapter, this video. But with Hedan and other African friends, they will say, oh, what's the African audience thinking about this part? Should we delete this part, or we keep it? Or should we add some other words or clips? I think it's very good. I think, and it's very important for us, especially directors like me, who are focused on China-Africa relations. We shouldn't produce documentaries and or videos just in Chinese market. I think the African market is also important. Actually, it's more important than this side. For me, I'm trying to keep balance and make a good communication with the international audience. I'm very proud that we make some documentary films and music videos with African support. Especially in our music video, we have some African instruments and African style. Could we show it?
Yes, and you're going to share with us one here, an MV done by director Zhang's team.
I swim the white Nile, cross the golden Sahara, climb the tall pyramids and find myself here. swam the White Nile, crossed the Golden Sahara, climbed the tall pyramids and found myself here. My dream is yours, your dream is mine. You want happiness, and so do I.
不一样，在湖边的海洋，乘风破浪，勇敢出闯。
Right here with me, miles from home, the joy and tears, all for a dream. My mother says we are born nothing but a fool. Smartest thing to do is find a better you. Diversity, the center of all form of adventure. Courage to accept difference, this none can help you mentor. Difference within yourself and your multicolored brothers. We come here, holding two things lesser than an empty tin. We all tread far east, maybe seeking for the finer things, the simple things. Some of us end up landing on our everything. No matter what you seek, be it love or more meat, we are all the same, standing under the same heat. A friend loveth at all times, but a brother is born in adversity. This for sure, we can all agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, many familiar faces here in this MV. Did you notice Ambassador Holden, just mentioned by director Zhang Yong? So I saw many young faces up down there. If you join director Zhang's team, maybe you're going to be an ambassador, to a certain country. I don't know.
Welcome. Arrivo.
And Professor Zhang Yanqiu, over the years, have you observed any other people like Director Zhang who's been devoted to China-Africa stories?
Okay, but actually you are very rare. You are academic and also a film producer. But actually, if you really look at the China-Africa documentary landscape, there are really some effort we have to mention them. One is a female, we say photographer, Liang Zi. We are all good friends, and she is a very brave lady, and she traveled in Africa for many years alone, and she did a lot of photos, not only in big cities, but especially in some tribes, in some rural areas, and that bring a lot of very valuable pictures to Chinese people. And also she made some documentary about her life, her experience in many African countries, and that's one. And also I know there are some teams like CCTV, CGTN. They also made some documentary about the people, about cooperation, and of course some effort from from African sides, like producers from Kenya, from some other African countries. They also create a lot of documentary or stories on China-Africa cooperation.
Did you get the message, guys? We need more Zhang Yong and more Liang Zi, and it will be out from you guys. Okay, thank you. So now the floor is open to you. You can make any comment or you can raise any question to our guests here. Okay, to that lady. Yes.
Okay, well, Guoyan from CGTN. So my question goes for, I just realized we have two Professor Zhang here. So both of you have done remarkable work in presenting authentic, I would say, authentic China-African stories. And for quite a long time, the traditional international media have portrayed Africa through their own lenses. And I think African stories have long been underrepresented. I see you nodding. And so I'd like to hear from you two professors how closer media collaboration between China and Africa could help reshape this kind of narrative and make it more balanced and more connected to real people. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, that's a very important, question, and also it's an issue. It's an issue how to represent China, how to represent China-Africa cooperation. Of course, in the past, both China and Africa was misrepresented or underrepresented by Western media, and now we notice that's not enough. There are a lot of bias stereotypes against such cooperation. Which should be, the story about China-Africa cooperation should be retold by Chinese media and the African media, and also by Chinese-African media cooperation. So this is very important. And from Zhang Yun's, documentary, we see your documentary also is showed us how to correct the bias or the misinterpretation or misperception about China-Africa cooperation from the historical perspective and also from the real people's life perspective. That is a very, authentic and nuanced, documentary, which I think will be appreciated.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think this weather is very good for this question. Together forward. Yeah. When I first started the documentary films, Africans in Yiwu, I'm the only director. But after working for like 30 days, I think I should invite African friends together to co-direct this documentary. Then I found Ho Dan. She is a PhD student of our university. Yeah. And she first refused that. She said, I'm not a filmmaker. I just research. I said, no problem. I will be charged of the filmmaking part, but you be charged of communication with the characters and for other, and asking questions. I think we co-direct. This co-direct model is very important for China-African media or film cooperation because we are different. Yeah, I know how Chinese audience is thinking, but she understands how African audience will think about which part they will like it. So we only with the exchange and communication with each other, we made this documentary to be a little success. And I'm very happy and I'm very proud. After our documentary, she was funded by their government. And she accepted the interview of BBC, and their government fund her. And she's very good at expressing and very good to be ambassador between China and Somalia now. I will meet her tomorrow. I say, now I'm still the director. You are the ambassador now. Please still support us more. Thank you.
Yes? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Noah Laltaika. I'm working in the media also, in the state-owned media, it's TBC, in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So the film we saw is from my country. And I know nearly all the places, including the Tinga Tinga, and all the way to Mbozi and then Zambia.
Wow. From
my country. One of the way of showing civilization in my country is to say thank you for the person who appreciated. And the first word I can say is thank you to Director Zhang Yong. You'll be sorry for me if I cannot pronounce well the name. But you showed the very positive face of Africa. The fellow from CGTN talked about the other media, the Western media, says something negative about Africa. They always find a slight, even if everything is clear and well organized, but they will make sure they will find even a tiny angle of starting with the wrong. In my tribe, I'm coming from the Maasai tribe in Tanzania, we have a saying which says, if many speaks, then one cannot have the power. If one speaks and many cannot speak, then that one can have the power. That means if we could still producing such documentary, showing positivity, showing good relations that we have ties between China and Africa, and especially my country, if I can talk about Tanzania, that we have a lot. The other time, Professor was telling me about the library, the very beautiful library built by China in my very prestigious University of Dar es Salaam. In Dar es Salaam, when we see that library, we see the face of China. We see people from China. We see this is our blood brothers and sisters. So thank you very much, and your work is really valuable, and this was nearly blowing me the tears, and I remember how. Thank you very much.
Asante sana. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yeah. Your no question, right? Could I ask you one question?
Yes.
Will you be the co-director of this Tanzania film?
Sure, because I'm doing my first only 1 year Masters in International Communication here at CUC. Then after here, I'll go back home. Okay. And back home in TBC, I'm working as a producer and a director also.
Now you're a master's student, right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm a master's student.
This will be my PhD student and be my co-director.
Thank you.
Thank you. Asante. I have been to Tanzania 4 times since 2017. Firstly, I make a documentary about the Tazara Railway. This railway is very important. It's a huge project, and it will be rebuilt next year, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I also went to Tanzania to make another documentary, Chinese Meet Africa, where filmed some part of Tanzania. And now we are working on this documentary film. We will show not only in TV, we will show in cinemas. It's about Tinga Tinga artist, Tanzania Tinga Tinga artist who painted Tinga Tinga in Zhejiang, in countryside. Okay. It's the first time.
Yes.
We usually we can find African art in universities, in libraries, and in different institutions. But we cannot find African art in Chinese countryside. So this one is the first time we can find Tinga Tinga and other African arts in China, not in city, in countryside. So I think it's very interesting. And last year we follow him to go back to Dar es Salaam, his hometown, to film his marriage. He married a Tanzania girl.
Yes.
So I was very touched by his story, and I think what he do is very beautiful. For me, I'm a filmmaker. I think Tinga Tinga is very good for camera.
In my office.
Yeah. So
Tinga Tinga
I just want to say thank you, Asante Santa.
Asante Santa.
Remember my works, okay?
Yes.
After the greeting from CUC from Professor Zhang, come to another Professor Zhang, okay?
Thank you.
Yes. After that gentleman, then Prince.
All right. My name is Joachim Dhala. I am from Malawi. First of all, I wanted to commend you for the beautiful work, I think, which you are doing, because, when we observe the issue of telling our own stories, it's a concept, I think, which we discuss sometimes, in Africa, sometimes in classes, but we see that, we lack that global platform, for Africa to tell its own stories, because Africa, is a diverse continent, and then, these countries, they have their own cultures, their own tribes, their own people. So as Noah said, stories from Africa on the global stage, they are told, by the Western media, and they normally represent their interest and, not the Africa's interest. So as a result, we have had, stories from Africa reported in a negative way, which has affected development, which has affected, how people view Africa. As a result, it has not been able to promote trade. As a result, it has not been able to promote cooperation. So I wanted, to commend you for the stories, that you are telling, and then as we are celebrating CGTN many years, of covering this work, Lastly, of course, my question is, through your experience of covering these stories, where do you think are the gap, that we can work on to make sure that at least, we amplify these stories and still tell more better stories, which have been untold? Thank you.
Actually, I like your word diversity. I don't want to use the words positive. For me, I'm a scholar. I think diversity, I always say I want to show Africans the diversity of Africa. We not only show the negative, like some Western media, but we also not want to just show the positive side of Africa. I think every society, every nation, even in China, you have different sides. You have two sides. Additionally, you have two sides. So I think for us, the most important work is to notice the diversity of Africa. Africa doesn't have only one side. Yeah, it's not about that's not true Africa. That's not the whole Africa. And so I like your word, diversity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Your work is highly impressive, and we are happy for the work you have done. But I want to ask, throughout your movements in Africa, filming in Africa, I want to know, did you experience some challenges? And if there are, kindly share some of the challenges you shared in Africa and on your projects. Also, did you also meet some Chinese in Africa? I think a better direction too would be Chinese who live on the continent of Africa expressing their view on what they also think about Africa. But I think my question is in line. Kindly tell me about your challenges. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Of course, for making a documentary, you have a lot of challenges. You can ask Gao and Wang. Even they make a documentary about me, they have a lot of problems and challenges, I think. But I'm a professional filmmaker. I'm trying my best to support them. Yeah. I remember I was here. This January when I was in Cameroon and Kenya, I got malaria.
Malaria.
Yes, sorry. Yes. For the whole week I stayed in some hospital and to get some more treatment. And after that, every day I still go back to our film crew. Because I'm the director, I should tell the character what they should do and tell our cameraman what they should film. So I feel that time is very hard for me because in Africa you have different. We don't have this kind of hospital or some medicines. So I feel sometimes it's very hard for us. Secondly, I think it's the different country has different laws for filmmaking. People, for example, in Uganda, we can't use the jaw to make some high sky scenes. But in Tanzania, in 2017, it's okay. But last year we go to Tanzania again, it's not okay. So sometimes it makes me confused. I will forget, or sometimes I can't get to better understanding about their filmmaking laws. So maybe I need an assistant like you. Thank you.
Yeah, I just remember while we were doing interview with Professor Zhang Yong, he said, "You fear Africa before you go. You love it while you're there, and you miss it after you go back to China." So this is the common mentality for Chinese people who've been to Africa. Okay, thank you, Professor Zhang Yong and Professor Zhang Yanqiu. You can now go back to your seat and take a good rest. I know you didn't just get enough of his story, but after our event, I think you can have more time to discuss with Professor Zhang Yong. So now let's proceed with our program, and we are going to play our second story about China-Africa Science and Technology Backyard. You know, this is an agricultural project that is based in Handan, which has been cultivating agricultural talents for Africa. And those those African talents, when they go back home, they're going to empower local farmers and improve the livelihoods. So let's take a look.
到这儿来，最重要的一个目的是要用你的知识来服务于小农户，都要在生产一线，每年要待够200天。
Learning from them how they spray pesticides, I was helping them on how they can also spray pesticides.
I am a beneficiary of the China-Africa cooperation. I think it's one of the greatest things that really happened to Africa.
从1元一直到现在，我们一共为这个非洲13个国家培养了130多名留学生。我们中非科协是创建于2019年，是以教育为主要抓手，培养人才，然后呢来服务当地。所以说呢，我们就开始从这个非洲的这个8个国家：埃塞俄比亚、坦桑尼亚、赞比亚，然后津巴布韦、尼日利亚。这个课程体系呢，就是我们是借鉴的是科协在国内这个10年的这个运行的经验，在中国培养1年，同时到非洲培养1年，回到中国来进行总结毕业。在这里边呢，主要的其实困难是很多的，就是我们的留学生在中国，然后有自己的这个毕业论文的这个指导老师，在非洲还有一个实践老师。这个实践老师的责任就是留学生在非洲进行的一些实验、示范的一些田间的这么一个指导。这个过程就是很艰难的一个过程，因为非洲的很多的大学的老师，他是从这个欧美国家来进行毕业之后。然后他的思想里边是想的是要做高端的研究，然后呢要发高质量的文章，他就感觉在生产一线做工作不能够给他这个职位带来他期望的那个结果。好在呢，我们在马拉维、在肯尼亚都找到了，这里面就包括马祖大学的一些老师，马拉维科技大学的一些老师，肯亚塔大学的一些老师，跟我们一块儿来联合指导这些留学生。
我们找一下那个装水分的那个测定仪啊，
一般是放在这个
地表的1米左右。
从1元一直到现在，我们一共为这个非洲13个国家培养了130多名留学生，他们就是分别来自埃塞俄比亚、肯尼亚、坦桑尼亚，然后莫桑比克，还有这个马拉维。我们第1届培养的学生，布基纳法索的沙孙宁，他到这儿来，因为他之前是布基纳法索农业部的农业官员，他说我们国家是种谷子的，我也是种谷子的。他说我对谷子非常了解，在布基纳法索，他说谷子的1亩地的产量，我就坚信不会超过400斤。他说能不能你给我找一个当地的这个实践老师，然后呢还有一个当地的农民，我的研究方向就聚焦怎么样让把谷子产量提高。我告诉他，我说在我们中国，谷子的保底的产量1亩地1000斤，我就给他找了一个当地的农民，就是从整地到选种，到买肥料，到这个疾病的防控，再到最终的收获，全过程都是他们3个来进行完成。刚开始的时候，他把谷子种下去，还没有长，还没有这个开花的时候，他就感觉你们种的谷子跟我种的谷子差不太多。然后呢，我感觉超不过400斤。然后但是呢，等到谷子稍微长得快开花了，他说你们这谷子就这么矮就开花了。然后在他的印象里，谷子是1米多高的，然后他说这谷子有点太低了。然后他说400斤都不到。然后但是呢，当谷子抽出来这个穗儿之后，他开始有点相信了。他说我们的穗儿就那么大，你们的穗儿那么长。他说我感觉能过400斤。在这过程中，然后他就理解了，就是我们小农户的这种精耕细作的这些技术，对他来说真的启发特别大。他说我读过很多的书，读过很多的文献，中国利用9%的耕地养活了全球22%的人口。他说这个东西怎么可能实现呢？我们非洲大陆是有全球16%的耕地，然后呢还有3亿多的人口处在饥饿水平以及营养不良的这种条件下，这对他来说是不可思议的。但是他等到了这个曲州，经历过这一季的这个谷子的种植，他才理解中国为什么能够用9%的耕地养活全球22%的人口，都是这帮小农户精耕细作、精打细算。
And I really thank the China Agricultural University for the innovation, for the idea, for everything. I think that's why I have reached this far. I really thank you China Agricultural University.
For this, I sincerely thank China Agriculture and the STB. Keep it up. Thank you, thank you. Shenshen Noda.
You saw this one. So you know it is a very typical that is crop production in China. It is maize, soybean intercropping. For example, if you grow this one, that you need a machine. Another is another machine.
Behind farmers living this.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yes.
Why?
Yes. Those kind of straw as used as energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, but in China, that is we harvest all the crops with the machine. 我们在种玉米、实现玉米增产了之后，当地的农民以及当地的这个农业官员以及当地的农业部给我们提出需求，有没有可能实现农民的正产增收？然后呢，我们才意识到，光解决温饱问题是不够的。然后呢，我们还要让当地实现自我的这种发展，就开始引进了这种间操作的这些技术，同时鼓励这些小农户来养殖一些小的动物，也鼓励小农户呢来种一些经济作物，你比如马铃薯，还有这个西红柿，然后还有一些蔬菜，然后通过这种方式呢来提高当地小农户的这种收入。我们从这个2023年的10月份把学生放到了这个科技小院之后，就是在马拉维的3个小院，我们培养的这30个农户，以及这30个农户所辐射和带动的这批农户，他们的粮产能到6吨到8吨。去年的时候，然后呢玉米收获，然后一个当地农民告诉我们家的粮仓往年从来没有堆满过，今年我这个粮仓不仅堆满了，我们旁边的屋子也都用起来了。另外是他直接把这个大豆也能够售卖一些，然后能够赚点小钱，然后能够提高他的家庭的这么一个收入。
My views on China's assistance to Africa, in this case to Malawi, where I come from. I think it's a good initiative because technologies are transferred to Africa and to my country specifically to help the production that is in agriculture industry and other important areas. So I think it's a good initiative.
Because China currently is a leader, a global leader, economic leader, and a leader in all aspects of, the economies. When you talk about Greek, you find them there. When you talk about construction, they are there. When you talk about infrastructure, China is there. And so this cooperation is going to go a long way to develop Africa. It is going to help with the development of Africa because more impact is placed on Africa. We are learning from China, and that will help in the development of Africa.
这是我们科技小院，不管是在哪儿，不管是在非洲也好，以及在这个我们的东南亚，以及在南美和拉美国家，我也会将更多的精力持续聚焦中外的国际科技小院集群的这么一个建设，来推动将我们中国所形成的这种技术和这个模式向全球来进行分享。
让我们凝聚起28亿多中非人民的磅礴力量，在现代化征程上携手同行。中非现代化助力全球南方现代化，绘就人类发展史上崭新画卷，共同推动世界走向和平、安全、繁荣、进步的光明前景。
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Yeah, I noticed you guys all applauded while you saw the farmers from Malawi, right? While he was holding his harvest, the maize, and saying thank you, Nongda. To know more of China-Africa Agricultural Cooperation and China-Africa Science and Technology Backyard Program, let's now invite Xiao Xiaoqiang. He now heads the China-Africa Science and Technology Backyard. Okay. And also, Jainaba Shankal. She's a broadcast journalist and content creator with QTV. She's been following agricultural and climate-related issues as well. Okay. Yeah, Jiao Xiaoqiang, as far as I know, you went to Malawi this August, right? Right after our interview with you. And I'm just curious to know, what's this year's harvest progressing? What have you observed from, the local farmers on the ground?
Okay, thank you very much. And firstly, I should thank you, CGTN, to give us such good opportunity. And before start of the program, I have told Director Lee, and I have known many friends from CGTN, and this is not the first time that is CGTN reported China Catholic University, and during the COVID-19, and some colleagues and live in Quzhou, and they start to report the Sino-African ITB projects. And I also benefit a lot from what's your work. And I'm a researcher in China Catholic University, and my job is teaching and research. And you have taught me how to, that is, transfer the knowledge into the common people's awareness and change the common people's action. So this is what I expected. Thank you very much. And for your question, that is yes. Yes, I have visited the Malawi in August this year. The objective of this visit is to give the guidance and to check the ITB students' work in the ITB, because they have stayed in Malawi that is more than around 1 year, and then they have finished one season of the crops. And I want to check how about the crop growth, and how about that is the training of the farmers, and how about the work in progress. And I have to go to some farmers' field plots and their family. And I'm very excited when I stay there. And some farmers told me that is they have benefited a lot from the ITP, that's mentioned by the one of the farmer in the video. And he has increased the maize yield, that is from 2 tons to 8 tons per hectare. And also I have visited that is one little farmer, and she told me that is she worked together with the ITB, that is 2 years. During the 2 years, he has participated in research of the ITB, and then that is worked together with the farmers, worked together with the ITB students, and he not only mastered the key technology of the maize and the soybean crop production very well, and also he has mastered the technology how to feed the animals. And when I go to his go to her family, he showed me that I have a very good harvest of the maize and soybean, and also I have bought two goats, and then those 2 goats have bring me 6 lambs. And I have some extra money, and also he took me to his new house. He told me that this house is built just now, and just the last month I have finished. I have the new house, and she told me that is in our family we have 8 people, and now we have the new house. And with the new people, and we are not crowded yet, and we have finished. We have solved the problem of housing. So I'm very moved and by the ITB students' work, and also that is I encourage them. That is the ITB students, they should work together with the farmers in Malawi and whatever in Malawi, in Kenya, and in Africa well. And also that is in the process I have learned a lot from the little farmer, and I found that is the technology and the talent training. It is a very key point for the ITB work, and also it is very powerful to facilitate the African agricultural transformation. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Jiao Xiaoqiang just gave us a very vivid, report fresh from Malawi, how local farmers have been benefiting from this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Jane, I'm wondering, have you heard of this program before? I know you were here last year for a training program, right? Media training program. And have you heard of the China-Africa STP program before. And the Gambia is also an agricultural country. And how is the China-the Gambia agricultural cooperation going there?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. And you're right, I've been covering the COP for a very long time. So this is a topic that is very dear to my heart, because if climate change and agriculture go hand in hand. And we all know the effects of climate change and how it is affecting agriculture globally, especially Africa as a country that is contributing least to global emissions. So when it comes to cooperation between the Gambia and China in terms of agriculture, is actually very strong. So agriculture in the Gambia is the backbone. Agriculture is the backbone of the Gambia, and Gambia as well is a country where there's a lot of irregular migration, even though agriculture is the backbone of the country. And even though agriculture is the backbone of the Gambia, we cannot feed Gambians. We get to import vegetables, rice, majority of the things that we have to eat, we get to import, even though the land is there and all of that. Now it comes with the expertise that is needed, and that is what China provides to the Gambia. I'll just give you a short story about a man. He's called Mr. Toure. He's actually the founder of Mario Farms. So Mario Farms is located in the Upper River region in the Gambia. So he had a technological engineering job in the United States of America. And at some point, he got motivated to leave the United States of America and come back to Gambia, because he felt like there was a lot of land in the Gambia and the rainfall is also good enough to cultivate rice. So when he had arrived, leaving that luxurious job back in America, and he came, he couldn't make it. He couldn't make it because he lacked the expertise. So before he wanted to pack up his bags to actually go back to America, the Chinese agricultural experts had just arrived in the Gambia to actually teach our farmers some of the agricultural techniques, especially when it comes to rice cultivation. They just came in, and then they were able to teach him and his team. And currently, he's cultivating rice in the Gambia, actually selling rice in the Gambia, and also motivating and working directly with students from the Gambia College. So right now, you know, there's a lot of prospects when it comes to rice cultivation in the Gambia because of the Chinese expertise that we're able to receive as a country. I think that's a big deal, isn't it? So that is just one thing. And also, aside from that, some of these women who are gardeners. When I watched the documentary, it talked about the fact that sometimes when you want to help African countries, it should not be high-end technology. If you want to employ high-end technology when you're helping a woman in the Central River region or in the Upper River region in terms of the technicalities that involves in farming, that person is not going to get it. So I appreciate the approach that the Chinese government is using, that is starting from the grassroots and using minimal technology for a start and then scaling it up as we go. And that is what is happening in the Gambia currently. And it's brilliant, and it's changing the game.
And the gentleman you mentioned, what's his name?
Mr. Toure, the founder of Mario Farms. Actually, I did a story on him that I will share with you later.
Sure.
We went all the way to the Upper River region to feature him, and he visited China before.
I think Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi mentioned him in this year's two sessions.
Yeah, he was mentioned and he was featured.
Musa, right?
Yes, and he came. Yes, and he came, and his story has been motivating a lot of young people. So I think that is a typical African story that not just Gambia can point at, but generally the African continent can point at to see a clear manifestation of China-Gambia cooperation or China-Africa cooperation in agriculture.
Yes, I think, thank you. Now you know Jiao Xiaoqiang, I think, because you're going to stay in China for 1 year.
Yes.
So definitely you're going to visit his project in
Yes,
Hebei province.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward
and know
to
what's
that.
Being,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I've prepared such a big note of questions for our guests, but I would like to leave more time for you to interact with them. So now the floor is open. You can comment, you can ask any questions for them. Okay.
Thank you so much. My name is Tashoma. I'm a journalist back in Ethiopia, and studying international communication at CUC. First of all, I would like to thank Professor Zhang to invite us for this wonderful event. What I want to comment and remark is that you know that Ethiopia is working hard in agriculture, transforming agriculture. You mentioned on your video you have been working with the people in government of Ethiopia. You know that in the past Ethiopia was example of poverty, but now Ethiopia gone a milestone, becoming self-sufficient in wheat production. It was really a great milestone for the country and also for the people. And thanks to the government of China, they are involved in these activities. But what I want to note is that what's your plan just to make these activities sustainable? And also China recently announced a new climate plan at the UN General Assembly meeting. Climate change is a dangerous situation for the world. You know that Ethiopia is playing a great role to combat this. Within 8 years plan, we already planted 47 billion trees, and we remain with 2. The plan for 8 years is 50 billion trees. This is initiative of Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, and Ethiopia is doing great. So what's China's plan to work together with African countries in combating climate challenge? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think as far as I know, there is going to be a China-Africa Science and Technology backyard in Ethiopia soon, right?
Yes, exactly. So thank you very much for your question. And in the year 2018, it is the first year of the Sino-Africa ITP project. And in the meeting in Sanya, I have met the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam, and I report to him about my idea, and he encouraged me that at that time he is the chair of the AGRA, and he encouraged me that is the Ethiopia, whatever Ethiopia and Africa, needs sounds of science and technology backyard. And at that time, we recruit the Ethiopia students, and until now we have recruited more than 10 Ethiopia students, and some students have been graduated. And also, that is one Ethiopia student in our project, Nabil. He is he's in this room. Yes, and that is you have mentioned that. Whatever that is your the strategic plan of Ethiopia, the planting the crops or the planting the trees, that is all of the work. They need technology. Technology that is should be first, and how that is we facilitate technology transfer and technology that is located, that is put into the action. That is the talent, the young people. That the young people is the hope of the nation, whatever China and Ethiopia. So this is why that is the Prime Minister of Ethiopia that he encouraged us that is we should facilitate the ITP work in Ethiopia. And also that is last year we have started the ITP work in Ethiopia, and the ITP student that is he had finished the one season of the maize and the crops in very popular in Ethiopia. So I don't know, I cannot remember very well. Teff, yes, exactly. And this guy has grew the teff with the farmers, with the 30 farmers together, and the teff yield has been tripled. And how did he do it? Only 3 technology. One is that is to control the population, teff population. And the second one is that is to use the organic and inorganic fertilizer. And the third one is that to control well the diseases. Only the 3 technology. can be that is make the green yield that is triple. And also, most importantly is that the farmers participate in his research. They have mastered very well. And those students, he is the students of the CU, but he has bring the seeds of technology to the farmers. And the farmers can tell and also can distribute the technology to more farmers. He view that is, he has developed the enabling environment for the local community to transfer technology, and also that is in local community, the many farmers that is benefit a lot, and they encouraged by the ITB students, and also they think that this farmer can do it, and I also can do it very well. So this is a very, very good that is enabling environment. So that is that is for your question. That is how we can do. That is to work together to collaborate with the Ethiopia agriculture officers. I think that is talents, young people first, and technology. That is with the two things that is we work together. It is a very good that is approach and effective approach to facilitate the agricultural development in Ethiopia. Thank you.
Yeah, so I would just love to say something because you talked about sustainability.
Yeah.
One thing that I've observed, my career as a journalist and covering China-Africa cooperation is the fact that I've observed that most of the projects that the Chinese government does in Africa, but specifically in Gambia, are very sustainable in the sense that, the Chinese experts, when they come all out, to teach you, how to fish instead of giving you fish. That is what I've seen in the Gambia. And why is it important now to have the SDB in the Gambia? In the Gambia, we have the University of the Gambia where there's an agricultural department. But most of the time, when these young people graduate, they sit in offices.
Yes,
the reason is because the expertise is not there locally from the Gambian lecturers and professors for them to go into the field and do the agricultural practices that they're supposed to do. So for example, if we have the backyard in Gambia, then it means it's not about the suits and the offices, because that is not what feeds the population. It's about going to the farm and having the adaptive practices that we can use as a country to ensure that we go back to the land. And I did mention Gambia is very prone to irregular migration, and part of the reasons is the fact that they cannot go back to the land because they don't know the techniques to use to have high yield. So the moment then, we have the backyard in Gambia, it also means that the young people that you're talking about will have more young people able-bodied in the Gambia, and with the partnership, we'll be able to take agriculture forward as a country.
Yes, yes, that's true. That is, until now, that is, we have we have finished the 7 batch of the students training, and some students that graduates, they work together with the military, whatever the military culture or the technical staff in the company.
Yeah.
They often go to the field, and their boss often complain. Why you go to the field very often? Exactly. And you should stay in the office.
Exactly.
But he told his boss that only I stay in the rural area, only I stay together with farmers, I know the problem, and I can provide the specific and localized technology to them. So this is the power of the ITV and also the power of the technology seeds for the agricultural development.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think both guys mentioned a very important aspect when it comes to China-Africa cooperation, that is capacity building, right? We're not just give them fish, we're teaching them how to fish. Yeah, so capacity building is very important. If we influence just one small technology, it's going to make a big deal, transformation. And we know there are many students actually from Africa who are now in this China-Africa STP program as well. And you are the future leaders. And when you go back to Africa, you are going to influence more farmers on the ground and improve the livelihoods of many more families. Okay, any more questions? That gentleman from Ethiopia.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Nabiu from Ethiopia. I'm one of the students who benefited from Sino-Africa Technology Backyard Project. So as one of the students who experienced lots of improved technologies in China, we spent a year in Handan, Chuzhou, with farmers, and we have been doing so many good things with the farmers. So we have learned a lot. It's not that much sophisticated science, just we have been using a good variety of seeds. We have been using the good variety of seed and the way of farming with the farmers. So what we are doing is now we are going to apply this back home with the farmers. So for me, next year, after this month, I'm going back home. So doing my research with the farmers hand to hand. So this is a kind of research that is not applied in my country because most of it is just reading very sophisticated papers, technologies, but those are not on the ground. But just go with the farmers and just test the soil and apply the technologies there, and you are going to see the difference. That's what we are going to do back home. So I appreciate this project and the government of China for doing such a good job with Africa, especially with my country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nabil.
Yeah, I just also wanted to bring this out before we leave. Just recently, the mayor of Holinjiang province visited the Gambia.
Yeah.
And I'm just bringing this in because during the FOCAC, President Xi Jinping mentioned the tariff cuts that are going to be directed to Africa to ensure that goods and services from Africa will be able to be imported by China. Specifically, these discussions continue during the CIIE. So the mayor of Holinjiang province, part of the things that were signed between the Gambia and the mayor of Holinjiang province is that cashew, for example, from the Gambia will be able to be imported in China. So I'm happy that also the Chinese government, in terms of agriculture, is using a model of ensuring that you are supporting us to improve when it comes to agriculture, and when we harvest, China can import. So that is actually like striking a balance to ensure that we're supported technically, but also when we grow, in the agricultural sector, China is able to buy our produce. I think that is also important to bring it out. And I know Ethiopia as well, when it comes to coffee, that does exist. So we are following those footsteps when it comes to cashew in the Gambia. So the value chain, it will go smoothly. You help us, cultivate, and then later you can also import, bringing some also foreign exchange here and there. I think it's very key.
Yeah, and actually Heilongjiang province, it is one of the most important grain baskets for China, right?
Yes,
like Hebei province, where the Sino-Africa Science Technology Backyard is located.
Okay.
I think their technology and their this guidance from this mayor or provincial official will definitely help to improve your local agricultural development conditions. Because I think Gambia included many African countries, they do have very good natural conditions for agricultural development.
Yeah.
You have a lot of labor as well. It's just the potential is there. Yeah, we just need to tap it. And with China-Africa cooperation, the potential will be released. Thank you so much, guys. You can now go back to your seat and take a rest. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, now our last video is about two African businessmen who are seeking new opportunities in Yiwu, the world capital of small commodities. They are Izzedine and Surakata. Izzedine is now, he's the president of the African Association in Yiwu, and Surakata has been in China since 2003, and now he has added some new products in his trading list, that is China's new energy vehicles. Okay, let's take a look.
China, whatever you have, you can start business. Can you take here?
你需要5斤，5斤是哪一区？ 餐具是哪一区，玩具是哪一个区，真正需要的产品就是在这个城市里面找到。对我来说，最开心的是我们国家政府非常欢迎的这个项目。
Known as the world's capital for small commodities, Yiwu trades with over 230 countries and regions. On any given day, more than 28,000 foreign merchants work in the city, a density unmatched in most of China. Together, they're working to realize the vision of buy global, sell global. For many foreign entrepreneurs, Yiwu is more than just a market. It's a gateway to China and to the global marketplace.
Obviously, you have more than 30 people, have Chinese people, and also have foreigners people. So when customers come, we'll help them to go to market to get what they want, and help them also to make the shipping for them. This is our job. Look at now, you can see by your eyes a lot of kinds of goods that we have.
And on average, how many containers are you delivering to Africa?
Every day or every month?
Every month, maybe?
Every month, maybe sometimes 30, 40 like that, or 50. It's not only also in Africa I have customers. In Europe, I have those customers also from America. This year, look at, is more than 500 square meters. So I wish also near there also they have another warehouse. Maybe next year I will add this warehouse. I think all the world, I never see one country like China. They won't help people who don't know how to do something. This is your telephone number, your own telephone number. Every day they are trying to make all the things easy for, not only for me, but for all foreigners people. Every month they will try also to promote some things. Do you understand? Before make your residence is like your work visa, you should check in by agents. But now you immigration, they open one office just for free. You can go there, they can help you to open your residence. Before you need to pay a lot of money to get this one. So about the market also. Now they have mediation office. That one I'm in. They already send me an invitation to be in. Mediation office is like if you get problem with some supplier, you can go to this office. They can help you to solve this problem.
As China and Africa enhance their cooperation across various sectors, African entrepreneur Chirara Surakata has found his own opportunities in China, especially in the fast-growing new energy sector.
希望了啊，可能说一代的工业是基本上不太发达，在我们那里用的产品都是从中国这里发过去的。2020年离开义乌去我们国家的时候，电车应该不能说是没有，是有，不是很多。2023年回来的时候，我发现路边都是电车的，我觉得有点好奇，就是从有车转到电车这个速度那么快。我了解来了解去以后呢，发现是原因很多啊，有些可能是考虑到污染啊什么很多一些东西，但是我是作为一个商人的话呢，我考虑的最多是利益的问题。非洲虽然是石油是很多，但是这个油费还是不便宜的。一个新能源车能充到400公里的这些车，你充可能是100多块钱吧。
Surakata realized that electric vehicles could not only bring environmental benefits to Africa, but also reduce transportation costs. So he decided to start a company in Africa, introducing Chinese new energy vehicles to the market and launching an African version of Didi ride-hailing service in Senegal.
Nous invitons en tout cas les Sénégalais, particulièrement des Sénégalais de la diaspora.
我们这个电车发到我们国家过去的话呢，首先是非常受欢迎。我们是有好几种模式。你如果像我们买这个车，你首付一点钱嘛，我们叫你2-3年里面每一天付一笔钱。 那你做到2-3年的话，车可以属于你的。那滴滴模式也有了，有些其实我们这些车拿过去的时候，有好几个人买的是自己用的，也不是做出租车的人，也有这样的一些人，就是认为这个车呢，我能不能向你们买，我自己用，我们也卖给他们。
Surakata's EV project is quietly transforming the transportation system in Senegal. It's also creating new jobs, from installing charging stations to maintaining and repairing vehicles. For Surakata, Senegal is just the starting point. He envisions supplying EVs across West Africa through regional cooperation.
第一批车最起码有100多个人，或者200个人能去有企业的。
Ouais, le confort, amener clean.
中国的新能源车的发展的关键在非洲是非常大，这个是我一点都不怀疑，而且我相信接下去的5到10年，可能整个非洲都会变成中国的。
Surakata is now working to establish an EV assembly plant in Senegal, training local workers in Chinese automotive technology and further advancing Africa's electric vehicle industry.
中方愿同非方深化工业、农业、基础设施、贸易投资等领域合作，树立高质量共建“一带一路”的标杆，共同打造落实全球发展倡议的样板。
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Did you notice Surakata's brilliant Mandarin, Yiwu-style Chinese Mandarin? Okay, unfortunately, Izidin and Surakata can't make it to our event today, but we do have 2 guests who are well positioned to share this topic with us. So Prince Tokono from Ghana, welcome. Thank you. And Director Zhang Yong again, because he's a very good friend of Surakata. And actually, it was Zhang Yong who introduced me to interview Surakata. Yes, thank you. Prince, I'd like to find out, is there any China-Ghana new energy vehicle cooperation project ongoing?
Presently, there isn't any. But what the government is doing is that it is giving out tax reliefs for people who want to import cars back into, EV cars into China. I want to say also that the EV industry is an emerging area, and people who are doing that are just doing that on private basis. But most of the cars that are imported into the country are imported from China. Yeah.
Yes, of course, this green wave is definitely shaping up the futures of China-Africa cooperation. And Director Zhang Yong, you actually in your documentaries, you've also covered China-Africa trade, right? People who are engaged in this business. And over the years, are there any changes when it comes to China-Africa trade that you have observed?
Yes, I think there's a lot of changes since last decade. I began to focus on China-Africa relations in 2014. So during that years, I think most of the businessmen, African businessmen and the EU businessmen just focus on shipping EU goods, Guangzhou goods, products to African countries. It's simple. But for nowadays, more and more EU businessmen and other Chinese businessmen, they are trying to build their factories in African countries. We have interviewed several in Tanzania, Uganda. Even we have industry juice parks in Tanzania and Ethiopia now. So I think it's different from the simple finished products to local production in Africa. I think it's better for African society because it provides more jobs, opportunities for the local people.
Yeah, I think what you said is also about capacity building, right? It's about employment and about technology transfer. So because we have quite limited time for our event, for our program, so now we are going to just open the floor to 2 questions or 2 comments, please. Okay, this lady first, and then there's that student over there.
Thank you so much. My name is Tamara. I'm from Malawi. Probably just a general comment or observation.
Of course.
I think China has indeed become a significant trading partner for Malawi. Recent years, we've seen how China, the cooperation, you talk of the agriculture sector, you talk of the education sector, and now we're talking of the business sector. We're seeing how you are indeed fusing in to not only empower Malawians, but to change the scope of thinking. What I like most about all the clips that we've seen, and also this recent one that we've just seen, is that the cooperation, even in the trading sector, is making Africa to believe in themselves, to change the scope of thinking, because we've been made to think that we have our own limitations, that Africa can move, that we can't make our own progress. But seeing how you're able to bring us into the picture and to take us back to say we're able to do this, and for someone to be able to go back home and come up with a business, creating jobs, but also with the innovations and the technologies that you're fusing in, I think it's some sort of empowerment, capacity building, but also sustainability, because I think every country or every region has its own style. Well, can I say style? Or they're prone to their own kind of way of making their economy grow, or whatever it is. So I should commend the corporations. I think you are really making an impact. And if more of these could be brought out, if more of these could be a platform where we can continue as Africa to say we can go forward, even if China was not there, or even if China says, okay, we're leaving, but we can be able to sustain on our own. So let me commend that. And I think it's one way of going forward as Africa. Thank you.
Yes, of course, we tend to, when it comes to Africa, we tend to think it's an entity, right? But actually it's 54 countries. And when it comes to China's development or the Chinese past or Chinese modernization, we used to say, Chinese modernization with Chinese characters. So definitely what you said is like for your country, Malawi, when in your development, you'll need, of course, the development path or pattern based on your conditions and with Malawian characteristics. Okay, and for that gentleman over there.
Okay, good afternoon, Professor and Prince. I'm a student majoring in journalism, international communication in CUC, and in China we have some pilot regions for EVs, electric vehicles, and we are facing some challenges for promoting EVs. When it comes to African continent, African market, what kind of challenges are the most biggest and urgent when it comes to promoting EVs in African continent? Thank you.
Thank you very much. First, for EVs, you need electricity, and we do not have sustained power. And you can't use a EV car without sustained power. So what we need to do is rather to look at how we can have power, because it will not make sense to have a car you can't drive. It is going to be a white elephant until the system is well placed. People have the purchasing power to be able to afford the cars, but until the system is well placed and designed such that electricity is going to flow for 24 hours a day, you can't use a EV. But as it stands now, it is the people, the high-end people who are using the EVs. You must have money, you must have so much money to be able to use the EV. Not because it's expensive, but because you would have to have sustained electricity. Yeah. I want to say that the videos we've watched this afternoon or this evening are really impressive videos. And China, I want to liken it to like a proverbial father, or let's say a senior brother who is looking out for the good of the child or his children. Africa has lots of opportunities, and I want to encourage everyone here to visit Africa. There's so much for us to share, and there's so much for people to gain. To the business people here also, there are lots of opportunities in Africa, and I would entreat every one of you here to grab these opportunities. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Apparently, one more gentleman wants to share his comment.
This question is not for my colleagues, but can you anyone guess which part of Africa I'm from? Can anyone? Which part I'm
Morocco?
from? No. Though I look like a Moroccan, I'm from Sri Lanka, but I just want to say something. That is because I just want to appreciate both of your regions to doing this positive work, and I invite Africa to, you can go back to your prosperous history with the help of China. Thank you.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to play a video about what's behind the scenes of this Together Forward feature. Okay, let's enjoy.
From Beijing to Nairobi's line, friendship grows, shining bright. 25 years hand in hand, building dreams.
As China and Africa enhance their cooperation across various sectors,
都在架设民心相通的这个桥梁。
Our stories told in wells of water, seas we've sown, schools and solar paths we've made. China and Africa, forward we strive. Filmmakers capture, hearts unfold, entrepreneurs bridge, new stories told. Scientists teach the earth to feed, together we plant where hope takes seed. Forget our stories told.
Like I said, this Together Forward feature, it consists of 6 episodes, and today we released 3 of them. If you want to know more of the stories, you can just follow China Africa Talk. We've actually already released our podcast version of the stories, which is longer, which will help you know more details of our main guests today. So I think you've also noticed that there are some interview pictures of China Africa Talk, our podcast program. So now let's invite our host, Bridget Mutambira, to give us a brief introduction of our program.
Thank you, Junya. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. I'd like to take this opportunity to, first of all, thank you. You know, these stories that you see here, it's all because of you. With my colleague here, Junya, we are just the mouthpiece. But the stories are not possible without you. China Africa Talk comes behind the thinking of only a Chinese person can share the stories of a Chinese person and the experiences of a Chinese person. And an African person as well is the best narrator of their own experiences. Just like I think most mothers here will be able to understand that only a mother can explain what childbirth is like. Yes, the doctor is there, but a mother can express what actually goes on in childbirth. So that's the thinking that comes from behind all this. But all this wouldn't be possible without your stories. And as we move forward, together forward, I'd like to encourage you to take time, even as the host of this program, take these initiatives seriously. Take these FOCAC seriously. They form a very essential background and platform for the China-Africa relations, where they're going moving forward. I think, most of the time as hosts, we get very excited when we see the microphone. I'll just end here before I create another episode, but thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. I think, like what our guest has mentioned, and a lot of you who are down there has mentioned this, it's very important for us to build the China-Africa narrative, of our relationship, of our stories, because this narrative has been dominated by Western media for a long time. And they, of course, have their own standpoints, but we have a different version, of course. I think that is also why we're here today at the Communication University of China. We're teaming up with Professor Zhang Yanqiu's team to do this release, this special recording. And I think because we're with media, you're with the academia, and I know many people, you're with different backgrounds, but I think the seeds have been planted here. We're going to work together and going to write our own stories of China-Africa cooperation and relationship. And we're going to enhance this time-honored China-Africa friendship. Thank you, guys. So now I'm going to invite Professor Zhang Yanqiu again to give us final remarks. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to CGTN Radio, to China Africa Talk for your very successful event. We had a very good discussion. I think it's more than we expected. It's a very active and very fruitful. And we really appreciate that CGTN Radio made a lot of effort to tell the real story about China-Africa cooperation. And I really appreciate that the program like a China-Africa Talk, which is a very important, audio program. And of course, I will also congratulate to Professor Zhang Yun and Professor Jiao Xiaoqiang. You are really, really a good example as a researcher, but also you did a lot of, field research or field, filming and field production. I should show my respect to both of you. And you really set a good example for Chinese, researchers from the university. You are not sitting in the, classroom, talking in the classroom, in the, conference hall, but you go to, the land. You're walking on the land of in African countries. By interviewing African people, by, helping African agriculture, which is really, really important for China-Africa cooperation. So, and also I will congratulate for our African journalists and African information, researchers here today. I really appreciate your, contribution as well. And I know most of you are very brilliant, experienced media professionals back home. And we're really lucky to have you to do your master degree, PhD degree here. I'm sure you will make a full use of your, 1 year time here, and to see more China, to expose, to tell Chinese story back home. And also, I think CGTN, they like to work with you in the future, and also maybe from tomorrow. And of course, someone you will work with, Zhang Yun, you will be the ambassador, future ambassador, right? So I should congratulate all our African lovely students and friends as well. Okay, so as a media researcher, I really think it is really, really important for the media to tell the stories about China-Africa cooperation. But at the same time, each of us, we are the media. We know some of you, you are very popular on social media. So we can work together and use our social media to tell our own story. And you can, that is something I think we can do as well together. And of course, President Xi raised the concept of a global community of shared future. we are working together to promote China-Africa community with a shared future. And under that, framework, we talk about, global development initiative, global governance initiative, and global civilization initiative. I'm sure in those fields we have a lot to share. We have a lot to build, the China-Africa dream and also China-Africa future. So let's work together and together forward. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Zhang Yanqiu. Actually, I want to work with you guys now, starting from now. So later after this event, I think we can add each other's WeChat. And thank you so much. There is this saying, African proverb, it says, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. I think what we've been doing today here, we're going together, right? An epitome of China-Africa cooperation. So thank you guys again for showing up. I hope you had a wonderful afternoon. But please, before we go, please be seated. We're going to take a group photo. The technical team will move the equipment, but please be seated. And later we're going to take the photo from this side. Okay. Thank you so much, guys.